This is the fourth mini workshop for the Africatown Heritage Preservation Foundation. Topic today is decision making and conflict resolution. Our outcome today is that anybody who's reviewing this will understand the key elements of the governing bylaws of the board, including how decisions are made and conflicts are resolved. Practically speaking, what you will learn in this short video are key components of the decision-making process, principles of good governance, common causes of conflict, common approaches to conflict resolution, and sources for further information. First part will focus on decision-making. Decisions made by a governing board for a nonprofit organization in the U.S. typically have a structure that includes various stages such as discussion, evaluation, voting, and implementation. The key components of decision-making process include agenda setting. The board sets an agenda for its meetings, which outlines the topics and issues to be discussed and decided upon. Number 2, discussion and evaluation. Board members discuss and evaluate the items on the agenda. They gather relevant information, consider different perspectives, and weigh the pros and cons of potential actions. Number 3, motion and voting. A board member may propose a motion, which is a formal proposal for action. The motion is then seconded by another board member, indicating that they support the proposal. Board members then vote on a motion, typically requiring a simple majority of more than 50% of the votes for the motion to pass, although some boards may require a supermajority, for example, 2/3 or 3/4 of the votes, for specific types of decisions. Number 4, implementation. Once a motion has passed, the board takes the necessary steps to implement the decision, such as delegating responsibilities to committees or staff, setting deadlines, and monitoring progress. And 5th, documentation. Board decisions are documented in the meeting minutes, which serve as an official record of the organization's actions and decision. Board decision-making processes may vary depending on the organization's bylaws, policies, and practices. It is essential for nonprofit boards to follow the guidelines set forth by the Internal Revenue Service, or IRS, as well as state laws, as well as adhering to principles of good government such as transparency, accountability, and ethical conduct. Principles of good governance for nonprofit organizations in the U.S. are essential guidelines that help ensure an organization's effectiveness, integrity, and accountability. Here are some key principles of good governance. Mission and vision. A nonprofit organization should have a clear mission and vision statement which guides its activities and decision-making processes. Legal compliance. Nonprofit organizations must adhere to applicable federal, state, and local laws and regulations, including tax compliance and reporting requirements. Board composition and structure. The board should be composed of members with diverse skills, backgrounds, and perspectives. The board should also have a clear structure, including defined roles and responsibilities and term limits. Board education and training. Board members should receive ongoing education and training to effectively fulfill their duties and responsibilities. Transparency and accountability. Nonprofit organizations should be transparent about their operations, finances, and decision-making processes, should hold themselves accountable to their constituents and the public. Conflicts of interest. Boards should establish policies to identify, disclose, and address conflicts of interest amongst board members, staff, and volunteers. Financial management. Nonprofits should have sound financial management practices, including regular financial reporting, budgeting, and internal controls. Fundraising. Fundraising activities should be ethical, transparent, and aligned with the organization's mission and goals. Performance measurement and evaluation. Nonprofit organizations should regularly evaluate their programs and services to ensure that they are achieving their mission and goals. Communication and stakeholder engagement. Nonprofits should maintain open lines of communication with stakeholders, including donors, beneficiaries, and the community, and actively seek their input and feedback. Additional sources include the National Council of Nonprofits, Independent Sector Principles for Good Governance and Ethical Practice, Board Source, and the IRS. Now let's move on to Part 2, Conflict Resolution. Conflict resolution in nonprofit organizations in the U.S. can take various forms depending on the nature of the conflict, the parties involved, and the organization's policies and procedures. Conflict between board members of a nonprofit organization in the U.S. can arise from various sources. Some common causes of conflict include differing priorities and perspectives, Board members may have different opinions about the organization's mission, vision, goals, or strategic direction, leading to disagreements on priorities and decision-making. Personality clashes. Board members have diverse backgrounds, experiences, and personalities. Conflicts may arise from personal differences or communication styles that make collaboration challenging. Limited resources. Nonprofit organizations often face budgetary constraints and limited resources, which can lead to conflict as board members debate how to allocate funds and prioritize projects or programs. Role ambiguity. Unclear or overlapping roles and responsibilities among board members can lead to confusion and conflict, as individuals may not understand their specific responsibilities or may overstep their boundaries. Decision-making process. Disagreements may arise from the organization's decision-making processes or the perception that certain board members wield too much influence or control over decisions. Conflicts of interest. When board members have personal or professional interests that could influence their decision-making, conflicts of interest can arise, leading to tension and disagreements amongst board members. Lack of trust. Lack of trust amongst board members can lead to conflict, as individuals may question the motives, intentions, or competence of their fellow board members. Resistance to change. Board members may have differing opinions on organizational change, leading to conflicts as some members resist new ideas or initiatives. Power struggles. Conflicts can arise when board members vie for influence or control within the organization, leading to power struggles and tension amongst the board. Poor communication. Ineffective communication can exacerbate conflicts or create misunderstandings, making it difficult for board members to work collaboratively and resolve disagreements. Addressing these causes of conflict and fostering a culture of open communication, trust, and collaboration can help nonprofit boards navigate disagreements and work more effectively together in support of their organization's mission. Conflict resolution in nonprofit organizations in the U.S. can take various forms depending on the nature of the conflict, the parties involved, and the organization's policies or procedures. Here are some common approaches to resolving conflicts in nonprofits. Open communication. Encouraging open and honest communication among board members, staff, and volunteers is crucial for addressing conflicts in the early stages. Clear communication can help clarify misunderstandings and facilitate problem solving. Mediation. Mediation is a process in which a neutral third party, the mediator, facilitates discussions between conflicting parties to help them reach a mutually agreeable resolution. Some nonprofit organizations may have designated mediators, or they may hire external mediation services when needed. Conflict resolution policies. Many nonprofit organizations establish formal conflict resolution policies and procedures to guide the resolution process. These policies typically outline the steps to be taken when a conflict arises, such as reporting the issue, initiating a mediation process, or involving the board in decision-making. Training and education. Providing board members, staff, and volunteers with training and education on conflict resolution techniques can help prevent conflicts from escalating and promote a culture of cooperation and collaboration. Board involvement. In some cases, the nonprofit's board may need to get involved in resolving conflicts, particularly if they include executive leadership or issues that have a significant impact on the organization. External assistance. If conflicts cannot be resolved internally, nonprofit organizations may seek external assistance from consultants, legal advisors, or other experts to help resolve the issue. Some additional sources related to conflict and conflict resolution. Thank you. What you have learned in this short video include key components of the decision-making process, principles of good governance, common causes of conflict, common approaches to conflict resolution, and sources for further information.